Germany, the fourth largest economy in the world, a cornerstone of European bureaucracy, a land of beautiful food, beautiful people. What more could you ask for? Well, you could ask for a 100% vaccination rate.
It's like full dance, you hear me coming through your speakers. You see me mashing up your airwaves. I know you can't get enough of my sound.
Deutschland, at the time of the recording, ranks at 14th in the world for percentage of population vaccinated. With over 75% of the country vaccinated, Germany has done quite a good job. But in our opinion, it hasn't been good enough.
So what stands between Germany and a 100% vaccination rate? Is this dream even possible? What are some of the solutions to this problem? And are these solutions applicable to a wider global community? Let's take a look.
A vaccine is something we economists call a merit good. This means that consuming it leads to benefits to the consumer, but also to society as a whole. Everyone benefits from mass consumption of the vaccine. In other words, it maximizes everyone's utility.
The vaccine in Germany is provided free of charge to every citizen. Microeconomic theory dictates that this means every consumer should consume the vaccine. However, this is where the theory breaks down. We sat with psychologist Irma Freud to find out why. Mr. Freud, why do people not consume goods when they're provided to them for free?
Well, my friends, this is a very complicated issue of irrational behaviour. Back in my day, I was...
Now, people don't take free vaccines for numerous irrational reasons. This is why, in order to achieve a 100% vaccination success, we must employ strategies to get people's opinions back on track. Let's take a look at some anti-vaccines' reasons for not getting the vaccine.
I'm not getting the vaccine because my friend is not getting it.
I'm not getting the vaccine because there might be serious side effects.
I'm not getting the vaccine because it takes too much effort.
These poor people have fallen victim to cognitive biases. They have been influenced by mental heuristics to make a choice which does not maximize their utility. So surely if we solve these problems, we can get everyone to get the vaccine, right? Right. So let's take a look at our solution.
Now basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court.
Humans hate losing. We hate losing so much that we make irrational choices to minimize our risks of losing. We hate losing more than we actually love winning. But how does this relate to vaccination? Well, a lot of people overestimate the minimal chance of negative side effects of vaccination versus the massive benefits for having one, as seen in this graph. For us, it is quite obvious that we either need to decrease the perceived value of the loss or increase the actual value of the benefits. To do this, two different approaches must be taken.
Let's handle decreasing perceived losses first. Lots of opinions about the vaccine's side effects come from asymmetric information. People just do not know enough about the vaccine to make an informed, rational decision. Therefore, we must begin to educate.
Let's talk about increasing the perceived reward. One thing we must assume in economics is that everyone loves money because, come on, isn't it obvious? So, if we take the benefits of receiving a free vaccine and add a monetary reward, who could really refuse?
So we've figured out why people don't get vaccinated and what we have to do to increase vaccination uptake. I think it's about time we presented a little practical solution.
I bring back that sound, the kind that makes you go wow. They hit you with the boom pow. I'm party.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Is your country lacking in vaccine uptakes? Are you struggling to reach 100% vaccination rates? Is your population falling victim to irrational consumer behavior? Well, look no further. We call it the EVS scheme, but you can call it a solution.
EVS stands for Educate, Vaccinate and Spend. The EVS scheme is a double-pronged attack, so to speak. It takes into account the aforementioned strategies of education and monetary incentives. Here's how it works.
Here we can see a respectable young gentleman who doesn't want a vaccine. He thinks there are too many risks involved. One day, he hears about the newly introduced EVS scheme.
That's amazing. I'm getting paid for taking the vaccine.
He goes along to the vaccination centre, but before he gets vaccinated, he spends 10 minutes in a COVID-safe classroom being taught by a trained professional about the ins and outs of the vaccine. Here, we have shortened this area of the graph. Once he realises that he is gaining more from getting the vaccine than he is losing, he goes and gets jabbed and then receives a certain amount of money.
The EVS scheme is something that the German government will fund, due to the fact that the sum of money that they will spend to entice consumers will be much less than what lockdowns, increased demand on hospitals, and increased staff turnover will cost the country.
EVS is a very efficient solution for dealing with those who do not want to get a vaccine for numerous reasons. The small sum of money that has been promised to them draws the consumer into the vaccination centre. However, it's the illustration of the lack of risk is what ultimately persuades the consumer to follow through.
This caters to every aspect of the irrational excuses that we have seen. As well as having a 100% vaccination rate, the EVS scheme also has other benefits, including the expansion of the economy through the multiplier effect.
Germany, a land of beautiful food, beautiful people, and now a 100% fully vaccinated population. In the modern day, we believe that the only way to reach this goal is not through mandation, but through education. We hope you've enjoyed our silly little video and that you believe the EVS scheme is just as elegant as we do. From us, it's Danke schön and Auf Wiedersehen.